Hello, and welcome back to No Sweat English. My name is Carol Wright. I'll be the teacher for the day for you. Before we get started, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't, as well as the bell, so that every time an episode becomes available, you'll be notified. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between simple past and present perfect tense. This is often very confusing for students because sometimes it just seems like they both would work. And actually that is true, but here my job is to help you distinguish a little bit better between the two. So with simple past, we're talking about one-time past action or a memory of a specific time in the past. So this past event already happened in the past, and it usually has no connection with the present or the future. Okay, so you can think of it that way. It's kind of an isolated event by itself that happened in the past. Now, the words that we usually use with simple past are last year, in 1986, yesterday, last night, last week. Again, times that had already happened that has no connection with the present. Now, present perfect, on the other hand, are talking about past action or actions could have happened multiple times that is connected to the present time. So somehow this past action is still connected to the present, or it still matters to the present. So when you talk about it, the speaker usually don't have a specific time in mind, usually, because it's basically a life experience. So the focus here is the life experience. Yes, I've had this experience before. Yes, this has happened to me before. So the past time isn't the focus. Although the speaker might include a past time, the focus is always the life experience and how it still impacts the speaker today. Some of the particular words we might use with present perfect tense is lately. Now, lately meaning very recent past to now. So again, there's a connection from the past to now. For how long from the past to now. Since, a start time in the past until now. Ever, when we use a question, have you ever been to Disneyland? I want to know your life experience. Since the day you were born to the moment we're talking now, have you ever in your life had this experience of Disneyland? And you can answer, I have never been to Disneyland. Since the day I was born to now, it's still true that I've never had this experience before. So you should see that these common words has a connection with the present. So that's when we use present perfect, is that it still matters to this day. Let's look at some examples. I went to Disneyland last year. Clearly, this is a past tense sentence with went, and the speaker is trying to talk about a one-time past event. I went to Disneyland. Maybe the person will put a time or maybe not, last year. The focus is that one-time experience in the past that has nothing to do with now. Okay? On the other hand, I have gone to Disneyland. The speaker wants the listener to know, yes, I've had this experience before now. So right now, in my life experience, Disneyland is part of it. I want to emphasize that. Well, how many times has this person gone? We don't know. Again, the focus isn't a time or how many times, but the focus is, yes, I've experienced this before. Maybe more than one time, when, again, it's not important. Okay? Let's look at another example. I saw this movie. A natural question that will come up from the listening or from the listener's point of view would be, when? Oh, it was last week and yesterday. So that's a natural question that will come up if you say something like, I went to the doctor's. Question might be, well, when did you go? Oh, yesterday. Okay. On the other hand, I've seen this movie before. Your focus is, I've had this experience before. This movie is part of who I am now because I've had this experience. A natural question the listener might have is, how was it? How was this experience? Well, it was great, or it was so-so, whatever it is, right? So I have seen this movie before. You're telling the listener that this is part of my experience. I've had this, I've experienced this before. Now, hopefully today I was able to help you distinguish a little bit better between simple past and present perfect. Before we go, I have a question for you. So it's just kind of a scenario. So if you would follow me with my question and try to answer, that would be great. Imagine yourself in a classroom and there's a very hot guy or a very hot girl sitting in the classroom, and you've been wanting to connect with them, but you're a little shy. One day, this hot girl or hot guy comes up and talks to you. My question is, which tense do you think you want the person to ask you? So this is about lunch. Would you like the hot girl or hot guy to ask you, "Hey Carol, did you have lunch?" Or would you rather the hot guy or hot girl ask you, "Have you had lunch?" Which one would you prefer the hot guy or hot girl that you want to connect with to ask you? Again, did you have lunch or have you had lunch? Well, the answer is, have you had lunch? Why? Because have you had lunch is connected again to the present. The idea is, have you had lunch? No, if not, then let's go together, right? There's a possibility opened up that's still in the present. Have you had lunch? No, I haven't, so maybe let's go together, right? However, on the other hand, did you have lunch? The person asking you is asking you about a past experience that has nothing, no possibility for the present. Did you have lunch? Yes, I did. Well, what did you have? Well, I have a teriyaki bowl. I had sushi. What did you have, right? There isn't a possibility of let's go to lunch together. Or on the other hand, if you ask them, have you had lunch? There's a possibility we can still go together. Okay, so here's just a practical way of looking at the difference between simple past and present perfect. Hopefully, I'm able to help you distinguish the differences between the two tenses a little bit better. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button as well as the bell so that when a new episode comes up, you'll be notified. Also, don't forget the worksheet I created for you along with the answer key in my blog spot down in the description so that you can do some practice and really test your knowledge. If you have any other questions about simple past or present perfect or any video ideas, please comment below so that I can take a look at it and create something for you. Until next time, see you. Bye-bye.